I was in Utah when I was a boy. Everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist. And it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Hi, well, there's the intro. Jules Brood up there. This is Kevin Blanch, Post-Ignorance Radio. This is my debut show, and we're going to talk about a lot of things here. We're going to talk about culture. We're going to drag you out of your dogma snuggie. There's no sacred cows on this show. None. Zero. We're the alternative to the alternative. There's going to be no contemporary dogman in this radio show. None. We're going to talk about the truth, whether you like it or not. We're going to talk about Fukushima. We're going to talk about the environment. We're going to talk about the kidnapping, hijacking of our government by a small, not even elite, unelite group of people, and you protect them and support the very people that abuse you. We're going to talk about the military-industrialized complex. We're going to talk about the murder of Michael Hastings, the murder of Pat Tillman, the murder of Ernst Swartz. We're going to talk about the murder of Mother Earth and all of you that participated in it with your yellow sticker on your car, and the hijacking of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party by special interests, by the military-industrialized complex, Fox News, CNN, Sanjay Gupta, crimes against humanity that they've all committed, and you participated in them. First and foremost, today we need to talk about the breaking news on Fukushima this morning. The so-called debris island, the debris field, as our group developed in the early days, a map, long before NOAA even pulled their head out of their ass, that we felt that the debris island debris field would hit in January of 2014. It's hitting. The debris field started hitting Catalina Island in a big way the last 48 hours. Now, the reports I'm getting, my small little army, as you guys know, I have people everywhere, in every nook and cranny and corner of this earth. My people in Huntington Beach are telling me that the military, the last few days, with their super sleek, black Halliburton helicopters that you taxpayers paid for that we don't need, have been flying up and down the coast at night and in the day with different lighting systems, with different personnel trying to gather things up. They're monitoring who's down there. They really don't want you down there with a Geiger counter. My guess is next they're going to be freaking coming and trying to take Geiger counters or make it against the law and say, oh, they can't do that. They can do anything they want. It's called the Patriot Act. They do anything they want. We have no laws left in this country. We have no constitution left in this country because you got afraid of the boogeyman that didn't exist. You fell for it. You fell for the whole scare tactic. Bin Laden's coming into your bedroom to get you and put you in a FEMA camp when you're already in a FEMA camp. They thrashed the U.S. dollar. They thrashed the economy. And when he held up that sign, mission accomplished, he meant it. We returned to feudalism. 1774. The return of King George. We're there. All these things you guys fear, it's going to happen, could happen, would happen, going to happen, happened. All our fears is anti-nukers. For all these years, we just were anti-nuclear because we had logic and reason that this was too dangerous. It was not clean energy. So we have the left who has become a latte-drinking, organic tomato eating when they're not even eating organic tomato. Let's have a debating society. The mentally ill, psychotic right, gun, I'm going to shoot an isotope out of the air and I'm going to freaking sit and lick my gold bars. Why they marginalize the rational, common working man. You're working longer for less every single year for 37 consecutive years. You drank the Kool-Aid on NAFTA. You drank the Kool-Aid on the TPP. Oh, we're going to be able to sell our goods to all those communists in China. When Americans just uprooted their companies, moved it to China, GM, Caterpillar, Apple, Steve Chinese jobs. None of them are American companies. They have American names. They don't employ anybody in America. They use slaves. They don't pay any taxes in America. They park their cash offshore. $200 billion last count on Apple. Waiting for the country to go bankrupt. They looted America. Fox News and their hairsprayed, fake Christian. They hijacked the Christian churches. The Mormons have become devils. The evangelicals have become devils. They support the very things they say they are not. Everything is upside down. This radio show, I'm going to bring on a lot of different guests. I'm going to bring on a lot of artists. I'm going to bring on, we don't want so-called superstars. We don't want celebrities. Somebody kind of, oh, Roseanne Barr wants to try. I said, I don't give a fuck what she wants. Michael Moore, I don't care. I don't want to even look at these people. They all had the field for 40 years. They had their chance. Their gig's over. Their chance is over. As I do my radio shows in the morning, it'll be my walk. I go on a walk every day across this beautiful, amazing environment that we live in. Utah. It's spectacular here. These so-called, they call themselves Christians, but they're not Christians, is they've hijacked the political process. They've hijacked the environment. They've hijacked everything. They believe in killing the earth at all costs. They believe in killing anything that moves at all costs. They believe there's no consequences. 3/11/11 was the end of all of it, and all of you are in denial. Our worst fears as anti-nukers, our worst fears as environmentalists, our worst fears as logical, beer-drinking, two-legged mammals was a nuclear meltdown that created nuclear fission, China syndrome. Not going to happen, happened. It happened in a dramatic, hardcore way. Not Chernobyl. Chernobyl was horrible and horrific. Chernobyl blew up. But Gorbachev had a soul and he had a conscience. 500,000 men in Russia had a soul and a conscience. And they paid the price. And they went in and entombed it. Yeah, it's still leaking. We're going to put a sarcophagus over the top of it, but they went broke. We can't even do that. But Fukushima is a whole different animal. Fukushima, by the way, TEPCO, Toshiba bought Westinghouse. Well, that Westinghouse still maintains the board of directors. You ever think that's fishy? We're going to talk a lot about investment. We're going to talk a lot about finance. And this show, you say, oh, I can't follow along. It's, a guy told me the other day, you remind me of Brad Pitt in 12 Monkeys. And I'm like, God, what a compliment. This radio show's for the big kids. We're going to have adult sophisticated, intelligent conversations about things that work. If you can't handle it, it breaks down your dogma Snuggie and it's over your head, move back on to Fox News and you can participate with the looting and destruction of America. You can participate in the murder of the earth. You can be an accessory to the mass murder. We have mass murdered culture. We have mass murdered the environment. We've mass murdered our dollar, our currency here in the U.S. We've spilled our grotesque, neo-epic popism gone amok into foreign cultures in the name of, oh, them terrorists are going to get us. Yeah, they really want you. Oh, I got to get a gun to save me. They're going to kick down my door and come in. Yeah, they want your Walmart junk on your wall. They want that styrofoam fake rock piece of shit you live in that you owe 3 times more on its worth. That's what they really want. Your house, you suburbanites, your styrofoam piece, they're called FEMA camps. Oh, you're in a FEMA camp. You put yourself in a FEMA camp by your own ignorance. This is post-ignorance. We talk about the truth. We talk about the fact that you think it's okay to put an 83-year-old nun in prison for life who's trying to save your children. That's how sickening you are. We talk about you can't drink and drive anymore. I'll tell you why you can't drink and drive anymore. Not because you're endangering other people, which you are. Because you get drunk, you come home to your suburban house, and you can't tell your road from the next road. Every house looks identical. We've crushed creativity. We've crushed imagination. We've turned academia into obey factories. So you go home drunk. You go to the wrong road. You knock on the door, and the paranoid freak that's inside the house has got his freaking AK-47 or his Glock. And he's telling his wife and his kids, oh, they're trying to get our Walmart stuff. Instead of being a logical human being and dial 911, and a cop come over, oh, the guy's drunk, he's your friend, he's your neighbor, he's just 1 block away. You shoot him through the window. Oh, and then you feel all good. Till about 3 months later, then you realized you killed your friend for nothing. You killed another human being, just like we did in Iraq, for nothing. We played a video game, collateral damage, and you just killed people like it was a video game and think that's okay. And then you wake up, and you go talk to a Vietnam veteran, you go talk to a Korean War veteran and say, hey, why do you drink 2 fifths of whiskey a day? Because I shot people that didn't do anything to me, and my soul's going to rot in the lowest form of hell. Is it? I don't know. But that's a question everybody has to ask. You participated. You call yourselves religious. I love this. You call yourselves a Christian. The evangelicals, you call yourself a Christian. You put a yellow sticker on your car. 1, you participate in the carpet bombing and the mass murder of Iraqis. We hanged Saddam so hard he ripped his head off when us, the American and the CIA, we propped up Saddam. Saddam never did one single thing to one American. Nobody in Iraq did. We used white phosphorus in Fallujah on our own Marines. We completely annihilated an ancient culture, a biblical ancient culture, for decades. Well, not decades, for millenniums, by using depleted uranium all over Iraq. To make what? Dick Cheney, Halliburton, rich so you as a taxpayer could pay for his 15th heart transplant and buy him another airport? And you guys think it's okay. Fox News says it's okay because you're doing this in the name of Jesus. That's what you preach from the pulpit. Joe, the megachurch, says, Jesus died so I could be rich. That's how backwards America is. Anybody who wraps themselves in the flag and comes here, they're on the wrong radio show. I'm disgusted to be an American right now. I was sent on this path as a young guy. My father was a Special Forces Marine, drafted by a bunch of World War II draft dodgers, by the way, haters, calling themselves Christians. He was a Pendleton. They would load those guys up in the middle of the night, have them combat ready for Korea. They would haul them in the middle of the night to the Nevada test site. Not the support personnel who all got checks for $70,000 by the government. No, The Special Forces Marines who they erased, who got 0. Their widows got 0. They got no medals, they got no honors, and they got nothing. They took them out there. They human guinea pigged them like rats. Blew them up, radiated, which they knew it would kill them. They knew. They just wanted to see this is the Cold War Eugene McCarthy madness that has morphed into what we call the military complex now. He warned us. We didn't listen. Eisenhower. They blew them to smithereens. They hauled them back to hospitals in San Diego. They cut their tonsils out so they could have the record to see how much radiation they sucked up. They fed them LSD. They fed them iodine. I grew up. I was conceived after. I had issues as a child, born a twin sister. We were preemies. We had all kinds of issues from these incredible physical specimen parents. Why? I know. I learned along. I had this messed up brain where one side of it was so sophisticated and so strong, yet I couldn't tie my shoes till I was 10. I couldn't understand it. But as I got older, I started to understand. I lived in Utah. Ground zero for the anti-nuclear movement. I knew Walt Stegner personally. I knew Edward Raby personally. I knew Richard Miller personally. We all knew what a downwinter, and these were still Christians here. They loved the environment. Grew up in this incredible, incredible landscape. All these birds, all these mammals, all these beautiful people, which is all gone now. We fought back with intelligence. We didn't fought back with a knee-jerk and overcompensate for our small sex and our small freaking education and our small brain with a cheap Russian $8 freaking gun and a bunch of bullets that got co-opted by Fox News. No, we fought back intelligently. And John Kennedy signed the open-air test ban. We had 350 open-air tests in Nevada. These mountains right here I'm looking at in Utah, I hike on every day. They don't just catch snow. They catch plutonium's half-life is 24,500 years. So as Utahns, as Americans, we all forgot what a downwinder was. Well, plutonium didn't forget. Well, here comes Fukushima as an anti-nuclear. I go crazy. I call it out in exactly. I'm a finance guy, very successful finance guy. Told you to short gold at 1900 to the day. Told you to short silver at $47.50 here just not too long ago. Told you to buy Tesla at $12. Told you just 2 years ago, 27 months ago, when everybody's saying bail out of the Dow at 9,500, double down. Told you when the market was melting down at 6,500, double down. But no, you listen to these guys who co-opted you and looted America because they wanted to loot you. You sold your Dow. You bought gold. You bought silver. Was that a good thing to buy gold? Yeah, everybody needs gold and silver in their portfolio. But all in? No, you got burned. You got ate it because they lied to you. Just like the nuclear industry. Well, 3/11/11 happened. Any logical mind out there who knew the anti-nuclear thing, knew these reactors could only handle about, the industry themselves will tell you they can handle about a 7.8 earthquake. This was 9. We knew it was on. I knew it was on. I went crazy in a dramatic way because I'm tired of the soft so-called tree hugger and the passive left who's taken on the environmental issues, they're as much to blame as the radical right. The soft tree hugger, oh, did we earn our reputation? If you don't believe me, go up to Eugene. Sit around. Hate-free zones. My line is cordial conversations are dangerous. Passionate, intelligent arguments get results. Keyword intelligent. You're lazy. You want everything spoon-fed to you on a 10-minute freaking YouTube video. I'm an expert on the Federal Reserve. Yeah, I love this. Oh, the Federal Reserve's 100 years old. Now, the central bank, 1776, Alexander Hamilton. Has it morphed and been hijacked? Oh, yeah. Multiple times, many times in history. Has it been totally hijacked? Yeah, Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand's baby. Her mentally ill, psychotic, whacked-out baby. And Alan Greenspan. He used to follow her around Manhattan, tug on her coat. Free market fairy tales. He deregulated everything. You went along with it. You sent your jobs to China. The best activism I've done this year, I stood at Times Square we made up a mock cage. with the actual people from Tiananmen Square, the ones from Tiananmen Square that got out, the ones that weren't killed, the ones that aren't imprisoned, is we were protesting for Dr. Blanch to get him out. He's been in prison for 11 years in Russia, in China. I stood in a cage and had beet juice, and people would walk by and say, "Hey, you on your Apple phone, how do you like drinking the blood of Chinese children? You call yourselves Christians? You call yourselves freak." I mean, I love it. The whole Christian right been hijacked. Fukushima happened. I told it in a dramatic way. I know the dynamic that it causes all kinds of things, but I know that it causes, at the worst, acute leukemia. 7 months later, I got a stomach ache, thinking I had food poisoning. It was hardcore. I mean, I'm a tough guy. I finally called an ambulance in the middle of the night. I saw the worst of the worst in the medical industry. Sent me home, nothing wrong with you. Over and over and over. I'm looking right at this scumbag hospital, McKay Quack D, that did it all to me. I lost 40 pounds. I went from 170 to 120, but I went from 170 to 130 in 3 weeks. Tell me, finally they biopsied me. Leukemia can form in tumors. We know that exposure to low-level radiation causes all kinds of things. Was it Fukushima that gave me leukemia? I think it sent me over the top. I think I was so full from my father. They'll tell you, it can't mutate through the gene pool. Who's they? They are the liars. The nuclear complex. As you on the left. Oh, the answer to dirty coal is clean nuclear. That's because you're fucking stupid. Nuclear's the dirtiest, filthiest freaking energy in the history of humanity. It's not magic. It's not splitting the atom. It's uranium mines. They strip mine uranium. They mock it. They feel it's nuclear weapons. As Megan Rice is going to be sentenced on the 28th in Knoxville, Tennessee, for simply trying to call attention to the lie of Halliburton, the lie of Blackwater, Pay the Dragon Slayer, guarding Y-12, where they moxie the fuel and turn it into nuclear weapons. She wanted to prove, hey, they're not really guarded. They're just charging you billions of dollars. So Dick Cheney can have another heart transplant from another executed Chinese prisoner, a woman. They execute how many women a day in China? For what? You guys are okay with that. As you go to Walmart and you call yourselves Christian, you're okay with carpet bombing Iraqis and blowing. You're okay with the murder of Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman was murdered by his own man. It was direct orders right from the top. That's a fact. And, we didn't know. You know. His mother made every round. She was on every your CIA co-op hijacked television media, Fox News, CNN. You all watched. You saw it. You don't care. You don't care. Because you're in your dogma snuggie. You're a degenerate people. We're a degenerate people. We've been marginalized by the lunatic idiots. We've been marginalized by the military-industrialized complex nuclearism. Fukushima has been pouring over us for 1,041 days. The debris field is finally hitting. You got every lunatic in the world who's come out of the woodwork, 1,000 days later. They're a Fukushima expert now, when they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. Oh, go eat some potassium iodine tablets. Yeah, that would have been fine if they told you that 1,038 days ago. No, I have answers. I have solutions. This radio show is going to be about answers and solutions. Yeah, am I mad? Fuck yeah, I'm mad. But I'm mad for a lot different reasons than you're mad. Because I see the truth. I see that they thrash the economy via NAFTA, via these free market fairy tales, the deregulation, the capture of all our government agencies, the Department of the Treasury, the Department of Goldman Sachs, the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Monsanto, the Department of Energy, the Department of Cancer, the Department of General Electric, Department of Toshiba, the Department of TEPCO, Department of Nuclearism. Over and over and over, every one of these have been captured. The Department of Defense, the Department of Dick Cheney, Halliburton, Rumsfeld, and you guys are off, gotta get those terrorists, when you're the terrorists. You're the terrorists. I love how you felt for the freaking, let's go get bin Laden. I like how they spoon-fed you that. Just Oh, bin Laden did 9/11. Oh, really? What made that corner? I thought Muhammad Atta was flying that plane that orchestrated that. We chased a ghost as they looted the country. Completely looted the country. We have a boom economy in the United States, two places, only two places. One, New York City, because we thrashed the dollar. Between 2003 and 2006, the euro went from 75 cents to $1.60. The military-industrialized pay-the-dragon-star complex is blown up in the D.C. area. And Manhattan, 53 million tourists. Manhattan's turned into a shopping mall for Europeans. And we're going to talk a lot about economics on this show. In the reality of why. And you guys can't get it. You can't get it. The same reason we founded this country was a tariff war. Alexander Hamilton. Okay. In September this year, the Constitution turned 226 years old. Then came the Bill of Rights 4 years later. Nope, wrong. Something happened in between there. The Tariff Act of 1789. Read it. It's like, oh, the Constitution this, the Constitution that. The Constitution's been amended how many times? 18. First time, 10 times. It was amended the first time with the Bill of Rights, then 17 consecutive times. We've amended it 27 times. We left the Ninth Amendment open so that they knew, they were smart enough to understand they couldn't predict future generations like the nuclear industry said they could. We've changed it. We don't change. We dig in with our dogma. Oh, no taxes on the billionaires. We support the billionaires when you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to your fucking job, getting off at 6, got your kid in the daycare, and go home and watch some freaking Fox News in your FEMA camp. And you support the very people that are doing it. Oh, God, Global Gold Store, we can't raise taxes on them billionaires. That'll stifle the economy. Fuck, the economy already got stifled. The economy's in shambles. You know, the government lies to you. All their data is nothing but a big freaking lie. All of it. The CPI, the PPI, all of it. Which people would have went to jail 20 years ago for. Not now. It's just accepted. Because you believe. Whose fault is all this? The American populace's fault is all of it. Oh, the Illuminati. What a crutch. What a crutch. Because we as a baby boomer populace are a bunch of lazy, air-sucking, earth-crawling, do-nothing morons. We think we're rich when we're poor. We think we're happy when we're sad. We think we're healthy when we're sick. We think we're God-fearing when we're not God-fearing. We think we're Christians when we're devils. That's what this show is going to be about. Dragging you out of your dogma snuggie. Taking on the nuclear industry head on for the evil cartel mob that they are. Telling the truth about Fukushima. Fukushima's ongoing. What don't you understand about that? They haven't fixed it. They haven't done anything. China syndrome's very real. Chlorine burning into the earth deeper and deeper every day. As the United States is playing American roulette with you, with the world. With the world. And this roulette wheel has nothing but double zeros on it. And you guys accept it. Oh, they're going to protect us from them terrorists. Here, have my wallet. Here, have my house. We take the easy road on everything. It's not working. And you guys just keep accepting. You keep going down the same dogma road. You can't even have a conversation about tariffs. Usury? What's usury? We had usury laws in almost every state in this country. 5% above prime was the maximum interest rate to get people in poverty, get them in debt, and then buy here, pay here. Car loans, usury loans is the most Jesus Christ threw the money changers out of the temple. You fake Christians. Well, you fake all of you. So everything. You can go across all dynamics. Not here, and not with me. We talk about things that are going to work. Usury laws work. Tariffs have always worked. Tariffs have been a tool that societies have used to bolster the middle class for over 1,000 years. They've always worked. You get spoon-fed, oh, no, free market. We want to sell our goods in China. What is it we're selling in China? We don't sell anything in China. Zero. Nothing. Look at the trade imbalance. If you know how to look it up, that's probably over your head, too. I got my gold bars. I got my AK-47. I'm in my dogma snuggie, and I'm sitting in my house, and, I'm going to kill anything that moves. When they come to take my guns and put my foot. Yeah, they really want to come get you. They really want to come get you. And they want your Walmart freaking stuff on your walls. They really want to come in and get it. We're going to talk about solutions. Solutions to your health, your children's health. We're going to protect your children, not in some abstract way, in a real foundation way. We're going to talk about diet. We're going to talk about keep spirituality, not in a religious way. I'm not that religious person. I'm really not. But I'm more in symphony with the birds, the animals, and I'm not anti-gun owner, and I'm not well, hunting is changing. It's not even hunting anymore. I mean, you guys are call yourself hunters. You ain't hunters. You know, what we're doing to the animals and the birds, what we're doing to the two-legged beer-drinking mammals, but 31111 capitulated it all. I mean, what do you not understand? I mean, people out there say, because you're so popular and groomed to a news cycle, say, these guys are crazy. This isn't that bad. It's going away. Oh, really? This has never happened in the history of humanity, ever. We all feared it. We argued when this whole thing built up, and they would told us on the other side, this can't happen. It's impossible. We have too many safeguards. It will never happen. Happened in Chernobyl. You guys just said, them fucking Russians. Yeah, fuck them. You know, we were posture and groom. Reagan said, fuck them. Everybody said, fuck them. Yeah. Really? Yeah. Fucking sick bastards. Fall for all this shit. What happened in Chernobyl was so grotesque, and it still kills in a very dramatic way. I did that. There's a video you can watch with my central line hanging out of my chest. I did in symphony with Pussy Riot. And by the way, Pussy Riot, Aaron Swartz, Joanna Son, Bradley Manning, who expose you corrupt, evil bastards as you push the button and freaking just randomly kill it. Look at that. Hey. Rosa Parks. Think about this. As the anti-nukers were in the jail cell, sitting there, as their co-protesters in Kansas City on the 13th of December went to court in Kansas City. It was an African-American judge, and the guy looked at her and he says, okay, you tell me. She says, well, you broke the law. He says, Rosa Parks broke the law. So, did she do the wrong thing? You know, we have so many laws on the book. Why don't who cares about laws? Let's talk about integrity, truth, and honesty. The judge, she got to him, set them free. Megan Rice is bound over by the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act, because you're afraid. You got scared, so mission accomplished. One stroke of the pen pushed everything secret and backdoored the entire all due process. And all you want to talk about is the Second Amendment. You know, you don't even know what any of the other amendments are. There's no due process. I asked a teabagger the other day, a legislator, a corporate welfare farmer, our county commissioner who's raped in one of the greatest deltas in our history. You know, Mike Lee's best buddy. Mike Lee, who's the biggest fraud in American history. $1.1 million of that, and he talks about cutting welfare, cutting food stamps. I asked him straight up to his face, what about the 19th Amendment? He didn't know what it was. So then I went on. I kept asking. I said, what about the 28th? He gave me an answer. We know there's only 27. We haven't amended the Constitution since, the 70s? But you're so dug in with your Fox News 10-second soundbite, and, I read a Wikipedia page. It's like finance. I listen to this guy talk, and I listen to this guy talk. Well, they all have an agenda. Look who their advertisers are. You want to find out everything you want to know about a radio show, about anything, look who their advertisers are, simply. They're pushing gold down your throat. Max Kaiser, I love Max and Stacy. I think Max is brilliant, but all he does is push silver, silver, silver. How much money does he cost you? Will it come back? Doesn't matter if it comes back. We're talking about the here and now. You can buy silver right now for $20 an ounce. You know, maybe it is a good buy right now, but it sure wasn't in the 47 like he told you it was, and it sure wasn't like Glenn Beck told you to sell your Dow at 6,500. How white man freaking become crazy? Oh God, who's going to hell? By go. So you sold your Dow at 6,500 when it's 16,000 and change now without the dividend reinvestment. With the dividend reinvestment, you lost out on 140% return. Everybody says, the market's going to crash. Well, no, the job market crashed. The corporate board members who own these things, they're living in fairy tale land. I mean, we have two Americas. We have one America for a percentage of people, and a lot of them turn into government workers now. I mean, you get government jobs making 120, 70, 80, 90,000, when if you incorporate the legal workforce in this country, the average American is probably making way less than 20,000. And you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to show up. It's free money. And these corporate board members, like I said, they don't live here. They laugh. You go to their houses with the Occupy movement in New York City. They just get on their jet and hop over one of their other houses. They got hundreds of them. I mean, these people are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The Walton family, and I don't mean Jim Bob. 400 people own what? 90% of the income, and you guys are still for it. You're still, we can't have a conversation about tariffs. We can't have a conversation about usury. We can't have a conversation about things that always work because you've been branded. You've been bought and paid for like the sheep that you are. They branded you right in your lip, right on your ass, and they've marked you, and you will fight to your death. I mean, I'm out here in the hospital, full of AML leukemia, given 2 months to live 27 months ago, with a central line in me. All these people, there's a cure for cancer. Yeah, there is. Yeah, when the doctor comes in and says, hey, you have acute leukemia, all this radiation. Oh, well, I heard you. This guy in Texas will save me. I heard we smoke a little bit of cannabis. Oh, I heard we drink some vinegar. Oh, this electric machine. Oh, this wheat germ, that'll save me. You tell that doctor that when you're shriveling up and losing 7-8 pounds a fucking day. You tell the cancer that. It's just like you look up when that drone flies over to you, and you take your AK-47 and take a few pot shots at that drone and see what they do to you. They vaporize you. Saddam had how many SAMs? You support the military-industrialized complex that is the very nightmare against you. The theft of the 2000 election. Everybody says, put it in the past. How can you put the theft of the 2000 election in the past? When the consequence of that was a guy named Alito and Roberts. There were 2 Supreme Court justices appointed. Neocon, mentally ill, nutcase, radical, as bad as Scalia. They're on there. Every decision 5-4 slants that way. They're lunatics. They're beyond dogma. They're beyond ideologues. These are radical. They make John Birch look calm. And it's both sides. You got the radical right and the radical left. The left, they tower in and crawl under. It's like, that punk-ass big mouth. That's Ted Nugent's the leader of this whole country. Ted Nugent. If Barack Obama becomes president, I'm either going to be in jail or dead. Yeah, sure you are. It's like the day of the election, on which I called it right to the number on the electoral college, to the number. Not like this kid that you say they did. You look it up. Everybody says, I did a video. I says, I'm over at Ted Nugent's house checking on him, make sure he's all right. He's under his mom's kitchen table with putting lipstick on in her skirt and high heels, shivering. He's a punk. I want to fight that guy so bad. I want to fight all those guys. These big mouth fucking, yeah. It's overcompensation for their fucking dogma, low and fucking intelligent level and their small fucking penis, every one of them. That's what we're going to talk about. There's no sacred cows here. We're going to talk about the piece of shit, dog shit, that prosecutor and all you people that supported and hung that noose up there and hung Aaron Swartz. We're going to talk about you people that freaking pushed it, the limit. Oh, God, Michael Hastings told the truth about his dead family, and he told the truth about these mass murderers. We're going to talk about you scumbags that supported and pushed that gas pedal until he was dead. We're going to talk about you people that squoze the trigger and blew Pat Tillman's head off, the most famous man in America. You think about in history 100 years from now, 50 years, they're going to look back. They're going to say the most famous man in America was writing a book, was getting freaking ready to do a movie deal maybe. They were scared. He was going to tell the truth. A Green Beret, Ian Thing, was ordered, execution, murder style, and his old man executed him, and his mother had to dig it out and expose it. And America says, okay. Yeah, but we're mad. We're angry, so Fox told us to get some silver bars and an AK-47. And then to go to the range and spend $400 a day on bullets to overcompensate. They just sit back and laugh while they loot the country. The country has been looted. It's been totally looted. Can we take it back? Well, we don't even know unless we try. Remember in the 90s, the smaller, leaner military? Boy, did that change with the theft. I call it the military coup of 2000. How are we going to fracture this? With integrity and truth. People inside the military. I know there's a fight going inside the Navy and the Marines. I know for a fact there is. They're tired of, like my father, the atomic veteran, being nuked. They're tired of the Marines using depleted uranium, white phosphorus on coming home dying of cancer. The USS Reagan sent in, 8 ships sent in, wanted the keys to Fukushima to try to entomb and take care of, but no, Barack Obama, propped up by the nuclear industry, Axelrod, Gina McCarthy, head of Reagan. You don't think we reward failure in this country? We were grown up, taught by our church leaders, our fathers, our uncles, every pillar in the community, everybody, our scout leaders, our, whatever, our teachers, all our mentors. We were taught hard work, honesty, integrity, and you'll have a good life in this country. Not only if you do that, and you keep integrity and honesty and hard work, not only do you fail, because your neighbor, the fat hair-sprayed hamburger-eating piece of shit, he's exploiting illegal labor, just like the illegal labor. Whose fault is it? We never had a fence. But I was a contractor. I was stuck on plastic contractor for years and years and years. 10,000 frescoes across this valley. All of a sudden, we quit we never arrested the illegal coming in. We arrested the guy paying them cash, so there was no market for them to come here. They couldn't get a job. It was against the law. It's still against the fucking law to pay someone cash. But we quit enforcing and started accepting. So you got car salesmen became contractors. Car salesmen bought restaurants. Car salesmen, con men, fat, hair-sprayed, lazy pieces of shit who are good at nothing but exploiting other people. So they pay them cash. How do you compete with that? It's impossible. You can't. And they exploit them. Here, oh God, the contractor didn't pay me. I'm going to have to. I'll catch up with you. And they just string them along because they know who they're going to go cry to. So they can't go to the emergency room. They can't go in there. So who's at fault? The exploiter, not the exploiter. The exploited. That's whose fault. It's all of us. You think you're getting ahead of the game. You think you're going to hang when you've broken down all quality in construction. You got a styrofoam piece of shit magic, fake rock. I was a rock mason for years. I'm standing right in front, right now, in front of Claude Mason's incredible mason pit here on the mighty Wasatch, and that incredible rock work that he did in 1950 still standing there, so pristine. Now you replace it with this fake stick. This kid said, "Oh, I'm a rock mason." So I brought him out on a job with me, and he says, "Well, what are you doing? This is real rock." I said, "I thought you were a rock mason." You ain't no fucking rock mason. Fucking styrofoam with paint over it you call stucco. Fucking Chinese drywall, which we know factually there's all kinds of toxins in it. It's been proven over and over and over. That's what your fucking FEMA camps are made out of. And you're paying a mortgage payment on it. At least if they put you in a FEMA camp, maybe you wouldn't have to pay. Maybe you have a little freedom to read some literature, read a book, instead of a 10-second soundbite. Maybe you wouldn't be getting... Rush hour was at 9 o'clock in the morning. School children used to go to school. 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9:30, 9 o'clock. Then rush hour ended up at 8 o'clock. Then it was at 7. Then it was at 6. Now it's 5. Rush hour begins at 4 now. You're working longer for less 37 consecutive years. Why? We got rid of usury laws. We got rid of tariffs because these monsters, we allowed them. Your mind was co-opted. Free market fairy tales. Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand was a science fiction writer, a lunatic, by the way. And she never claimed to be an economist. She was an atheist. She was born and raised in Russia. She was a counterculturist, obviously, to Lenin and Stalin. Obviously. Greenspan went on. He hijacked the Federal Reserve. Alan Greenspan's the greatest terrorist in American history, bar none, and history will record it that way. Hamilton would spit in his face. Jefferson would spit in his face. You guys went with it. By the way, she was on public assistance the last how many decades of her life? Her and her husband. You guys go for that. Paul Ryan quotes him. That little Herman Munster-looking freak, or Eddie, whatever his name is. We elect morons because it is representative government. I did my PhD right here. I was working out when I got cancer when Fukushima happened. I went around with a camera. 2,000 interviews. I broke it down into 5 demographics. Undergraduate students, graduate students, working class, professors, and homeless. a whole subset of questions. I used the old Harvard study, name 2 Supreme Court justices, nobody could do it. But anyway, the marquee question, the first question was, this is in the Teabagger Revolt, the co-opt revolt, 2009, 2010. What's your opinion of Congress? Oh, we hate them. I only use people that were politically motivated, which was pretty well everyone. We hate the bastards. Yeah. Second question, who's your congressman or woman? 94 people knew. How can you hate Congress? You don't even know who your representative is. How can you bitch when you can't even call them? I call Barbara Boxers all the time. She's head of the committee. That's how we got San Onofre shut down, which we got shut down. I was there in critical condition. I organized the hearing at San Clemente. We packed that building. I got kicked out before I even spoke. That's how much they fear me. My activism, while in critical condition. I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too stupid, I'm too tired, I'm too broke. I was in critical condition. When I got sick, I forked over every penny I had to get into that bone marrow transplant center. That's a whole other commentary. While in critical condition, let's talk about my activism. Just in the last 12 months, January 2012, in New York City. I was in New York City when Aaron Swartz died. February, at the San Clemente. I organized it from my room, a lot of it, in critical condition with the central line. And the year before, let's start off there with my In Symphony with Pussy Riot and Femme with the central line hanging out of my chest. Because Pussy Riot's protesting the same thing we're protesting. They're protesting the hijacking of the Russian Orthodox Church. I mean, you look at that, when they protested up on the stage, they're praying to the Virgin Mary. They're not anti-Christian, they're pro-Christian. They're anti-Putin hijacking it. They're anti-the establishment hijacking it, just like we are here, just like Megan Rice, the nun, the daughter of Dr. Rice, the protege of Dorothy Day, the Catholic workers, maybe the greatest human rights activist besides Martin Luther King ever. But you don't even understand that. We're all protesting, as I did that protest with that central line hanging out of my chest, as Femin went into Chernobyl naked and held those signs up and called attention to the world. Hey, these young girls are dying of cancer every day as America yawns and drools. San Onofre, February 2013. My gig, I kept telling them we're going to hit the beach on D-Day. Do you think it's coincidence that on D-Day they come out, we're not reopening? Nobody said that. I said that over and over. Songs will never reopen. Everybody says you're crazy. The hardcore anti-snookers, we are. Nobody agrees. Everybody says you're crazy, Kevin. They came out the day we were scheduled for our massive protest. You think that's coincidence? Because I kept saying we're going to hit the beach on D-Day, and then you're going to know what hit them. We're going to make sure people go to jail. We exposed the fraud. We educated Barbara Boxer's office. Of course, the Patriot Act backdoored all that, sent the open hearings we pushed for, which we got underground. In San Diego with the Navy all summer and the Marines with the court case that was going on at USS Reagan. I was there. In Washington Park, we marched to Alexander Hamilton's grave in September of 28, my post-ignorance kid in New York City, protesting with my PU is greater than GE sign, in front of CNBC in Times Square, in front of Time, in front of Fox News, in front of CBS, in front of ABC, all while I'm sick. Stood at Times Square in the cage with the Tiananmen Square protesters, protesting the exploitation, the execution. You know, NFL players, the ancestors of antebellum slaves, running down the field with hair extensions from executed Chinese prisoners. We're all okay with that. Not me. Fuck no, I'm not okay with it. The fucking collateral damage video. Bradley Manning, yeah, he had a lot of issues. No doubt. But can you answer me this? If you got a soul and you got any integrity, you're sitting around, you're in the military, whatever, I don't care where you are, and you come across that collateral damage video, and you watch these kids thinking they're on a video game just freaking murdering people randomly from the sky just because. For no reason. You don't do anything about it? That's saying that Rosa Parks was not a national hero, which she was. That's like saying that Tom Brown didn't do what he should have did. The Gimlet girls shouldn't have done what they did. Harry Beecher Stowe shouldn't have rode Uncle Tom's Cabin. And Barack Obama, he's the greatest Uncle Tom in history? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it has nothing to do with race. It has to do with them supporting his very killers. They let him in the club. He's in the club. The far-right Republican Party, mentally ill, psychotic lunatics with low IQs. Fox News, totally co-opted by the CIA. Fox News, come on. The CIA got smart, just like they did in the 60s, and they co-opted the hippie movement. They did the same thing here. Exact same thing here. Real easy. They're like, God, how can, the military's getting leaner in the 90s. It's getting leaner and leaner and smaller. I mean, we're getting to be a wealthy nation again. We got a freaking no inflation. We have $1. I stood in Manhattan. I was a derivative trader on Wall Street. I was an arbitrage derivative specialist, made a lot of money. I quit a job, $1 million a year in 1999 for a lot of reasons. I went and listened to the head of the Euro speak. The euro opened at, 75 cents against the dollar? And he says, we hope someday to have it trading equivalent to the United States dollar. For 2003, who knew that the military coup of 2000, it went from $1, it went from 75 cents to $1.60, the greatest dilution to the American currency. And now when the currency gets whacked like that, everything gets whacked. There's nowhere to hide. Unless you're foreign, unless you're owning foreign currencies. That's the only place to hide. So it didn't happen now. It didn't happen on the election of 2008 when the market crashed. It didn't happen on the election of Barack Obama. It happened when we invaded Iraq. 30% of the United States equity markets were made up by foreign investment. You don't think the world's like, fuck you, we'll take our business elsewhere. Fucking mass murder, the military coup of 2000. So the military went in and they says, here's how we're going to do it. They hooked up with Rupert Murdoch and Fox News. That was a CIA co-op. It still is. The Fox News is completely co-op. They're all paid and made celebrities and rich. They have a playbook. Anderson Cooper for CNN. We know for a fact. Anderson Vanderbilt came right out of the CIA. We know this. People say, oh no, this is all factual. Well, Doc, this is public knowledge. Sanjay Gupta, a neurosurgeon who was in Japan, comes back and says, oh, radiation's good for you. These people are co-opted. They're co-opted to build up the military-industrialized complex because it was getting lean and we were getting rich in the 90s. America was rich. Yeah, granted, the job market was still drifting, but we had no inflation. We had a healthy dollar, and we had a surplus. Wow. Now we're going on $20 trillion in debt and just cycling out of control, and we just want to cut. You're going to cut a little bit of food stamps? That's the answer? Fuck, how pathetic is that? Again, it's like AK-47 against your fucking drone. It's like taking fucking some wheat germ against leukemia. It's like taking a spit wad against a fucking drone. Why don't we fucking break the back of the military-industrialized complex, nuclearism? Everybody says, oh, we need these peacekeepers, these nuclear weapons. We have enough nuclear weapons to kill the fucking Earth over 1 billion times over. We've poisoned this fucking Earth. We can't take any more. Radiation is bioaccumulative in the bone marrow. It builds up and it builds up and it builds up. I'm going to have a lot of different guests on this show. I'm going to bring in artists. Not the establishment artists, not wall decorators for oligarchs. Fuck them. Any people who bought art in the last 30, 40 years post-Warhol, boy, did you get fucked. Fuck, you might as well fuck them. Well, enjoy looking at it because it's worthless, and it's going to be worthless because it's meaningless. It has no meaning. There's nothing since Warhol. I always go back to Pollock. The strangeness will wear off, but the radiation won't. That's my spin on Pollock. Popism. I say popism died. Popism died 3/11/11. That's when popism died. Yeah. Everybody says, oh no, it died in Warhol. He exposed it. Warhol was making a totally mockery of the whole thing, saying, what does the matter with you? And think about what it was then and what it is now, commercialization. Obey, 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 consume, 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 obey as you come out of your obey factories. Academia is a fucking joke from kindergarten all the way to fucking graduate school. They're obey factories. They're not think tanks anymore. Well, why wouldn't they be? You got teachers making $30,000 a year when in today's dollars they would have made $150,000 a year. The average American in 1975 was making $106,000 a year in today's dollars. Now we make less than 20. Free markets worked out real well for you. Oh, them unions are corrupt. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe they were. But we had tariffs. We didn't even have income tax in this country till 1916. Oh, we didn't need money. Oh, really? You know how much fucking money the fucking Civil War and Reconstruction cost us? Where did we get the money? Tariffs. As Alexander Hamilton said, we must block cheap Chinese goods from coming into America. The new East Indian Company, Walmart, But you're all okay with it. Oh, them free guard, you're a fucking protectionist. We need less government. No, we need cleaner government. Yeah, we do need less government than the military. The military should be 1/10 of what it is. It's so grotesque. What it's done in the last 13 years is blown up via 9/11. Oh boy, did you that's the only thing. I love Jesse Ventura. He's made a fortune off regurgitating third grade knowledge. He's on Larry. Larry. Did you know I just found this out the other day. When they was going to kill Abraham Lincoln, did you know that was a conspiracy? They tried to kill the vice president and the secretary of state. And Larry King's looking at him like, fuck you, stupid fucker. He's just, okay, letting him go. I'm like, fuck, you skipped the third fucking grade. So that's what they do to you, because that's how ignorant we become, because our education system is ignorant. The populace's fault, partly. Is it the system's part? Partly. But the bottom line, I bring it on spiritual leaders. That's exactly who I bring it on. I used to drive up to Evanston to bet horses during the whole complex when it was going 2001, 2003, 4, 5. I remember this evangelical church had this big face poster on the wall. We support our troops and our president. And he preached from the pulpit. The Mormons preaching. I'm like, you fucker, you call yourself a Christian and you're out carpet bombing, mass murdering people. Thou shalt not kill. Love them, for they know not what they do. That was the people killing him. And I want people to understand, most atheists are big fans of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was a philosopher. Jesus Christ was a radical. Jesus Christ was a socialist. Jesus Christ was a freaking, not in what we've termed today's liberal. I mean, today's liberal's pathetic. They don't even know what the fuck it means. You go to San Francisco, it's like they're fucking comfortably dumb. Up in Eugene, I did my post-ignorance 2-year anniversary. Lonnie Clark and I organized. Quite a few people came. And an old lady tried to knock the freaking megahorn out of my mouth. I just told my tale. Told them the exact truth. No hate zones. Let's talk about it. They're comfortably dumb. They smoke, they're gone. They're fucking gone. And then the far right, they're mentally ill fucking lunatics. So the 60% of America that has any logic, if they're still there, they're too busy fucking chasing their tail trying to make some fucking money. Oh, honey, let's go out of fucking 2 weeks in fucking Vegas and fucking, go to the strip bar and whoo-hoo, we got drunk and had fun. And back to our FEMA camp. What did I read the other day? I like to watch sex numbers. The amount of Americans that are actually having physical sex in a healthy way is so off a cliff in the last 15, 20 years. It's because there's no loving, nurturing between each other. What, fucking 93% of fucking sex is initiated in the workplace? People are in their cocoons. They're in their own little fucking bubbles, and they just keep, we were never that. We grew up in the 50s and 60s and 70s. We know better as baby boomers. These kids don't know better because we've repressed them into a hole. We're coming up on the end of our show here, but remember when we used to have keg parties? And remember when we used to have the girls had flowers in their hair? And remember when we used to have fun? And, I don't remember violence at all these big open parties. I remember when we all used to work and everybody would hang out at the parks and we all did these fun things as baby boomers and we all loved each other and we all had, think about the music. How great was the music? Look at it now. How great was the art? Look at it now. So this show, we're going to wind up every Tuesdays and Thursdays, post-ignorance, and I'll bring on a lot of guests. There'll be people you've never heard of. Fuck the celebrities. Fuck the people that had the field. It's time for them to sit the fuck down. They took the field with a lead at halftime of 100-0. By the end of it's the 2-minute warning. They went from 100-0 lead. They're down 3,428 to fucking 100. They couldn't catch nobody. They couldn't score. So, stay in tune. Stay with me. We'll make this work. Kevin Blanch.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Klungate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it